Soundstripe.
Welcome to the first episode of The Traditional Way, a new podcast brought to you by the Martial Arts Internet Network. This podcast will cover and report primarily on the World Karate Federation competitions. However, we will attempt to bring you all things traditional in the Japanese Okinawan realm as they occur. I'm Brett Shumway, and I'll be your host through this journey. My goal is to bring you the most unbiased look at the WKF as possible. I'll report on the events as I see it and will attempt to be as subjective as possible. However, full disclosure, our competitor spotlights will focus primarily on North American players. Due to our audience and the connection to the competitors from their regions and countries, I will be spotlighting those competitors and their progress throughout this podcast and as a series. On this episode, we are going to preview the upcoming Karate One Premier League event in Dublin, Ireland. This is the last one of the year for the 2023 season. It will determine who the Premier League grand winners are for the 2023 season. The grand winners are recognized by their gold embroidered uniform brands on their shoulders. Being the grand winner authorizes wear of that gold embroidery for the following year. Only grand winners and incumbent world championships are granted this honor, and it signifies the competitors as the top of their divisions. Some may look at this as just a status symbol, but to those on the WKF scene and in their world, it carries a ton of dignity and a pride of being able to wear them. It's why the WKF considers the grand winners to be the best of the best. There is going to be a ton of action in Dublin, so let's start breaking it down. Starting in the negative 50 kilogram female Kumite division, last year's grand winner Yorgela Salazar from Venezuela comes in as having medaled in all three events in the Premier League this year. A lot of people think she's in prime position to win the whole thing. My pick for this year is going to be Reem Ahmed Salama from Egypt. She's within 330 points, and she has won the two K1 events that she has entered this year, winning gold in both of them. I think she'll win Dublin. However, it depends on where Salazar ends up with the points. If they come in first and second, that'd still be enough points for Salazar to regain her grand winner. But if Salama can beat Salazar early enough in the bracket, or Salazar was to lose in the bracket and she wins, I think Salama will be the grand winner. It'll come down to these two ladies, one way or the other. In the minus 55 kilogram female Kumite division, I wish I could give you a preview of this division. However, it's going to be an announcement. Anselika Torugia from Ukraine has done it again. She has already been crowned this year's grand winner. This is her third year in a row being the grand winner. She's so far ahead in the points that it's mathematically impossible for her not to be the grand winner this year. I wish I was going to be able to preview this for you guys. However, the WKF did make that announcement this morning. She is the grand winner, and there's nobody that's going to beat her. I think Dublin is just a warm-up for the World Championships. She's going to come in and set the tone and let it know that not only am I the grand winner for the past 3 years, I will also be the world champion in this division. Looking at the negative 61 kilogram women's Kumite division, this division I'm going to label as anything can happen division. This one's up for grabs. The top 10 players are all within 1,000 points of each other, and then you got the top 5 that are all within striking distance to be the grand winner. The number one ranked in the Premier League right now is Reem Kamis from Germany. However, as I said, as this is being up for grabs, she has only taken a silver and a bronze this year in the Premier League. She has not taken a gold at all this year. Last year's grand winner and number one world ranked Anita Sorogina from Ukraine comes in with a scattered performance. She's either she's medaled in one or two, and then she's got participation points. I think this division, whoever wins this division, will ultimately be the grand winner. However, my pick for the division, I think, is going to be newcomer Sahara Shimida from Japan. She's coming off her gold win in Fukuoka, and if she can have another good run in Dublin, it's hers for the taking. If you were looking to script a bracket, I don't think anything comes better than the minus 68 kilogram women's division. This division is going to come down to the world number 1 and the world number 2. You have Irana Zaretska. She is the last year's grand winner. She's the current number one. She comes in number two in the Premier League standings, however. You also have Elena Corsi from Switzerland. She is the number one in the Premier League standing, the world number two. These two have went back and forth all year. Elena beat Irana in Cairo, with Irana placing third, and she also beat her in Fukuoka, where she beat her prior to the medal rounds. However, the only loss that Elena has taken in the Premier League has been to Irana in Rabat. She beat her for gold, and Elena took silver in that. So this, depending on how they match up, whoever wins this will be the grand winner of this division. However, with them being seeded number first and second coming in, there's a very good chance that these two ladies come down, and the whole thing will be in the gold medal match for first and second, with the winner winning the gold in Dublin and the Premier League grand winner. In the over 68 kilogram females fighting division, this division will crown a new grand winner this year. Last year's winner, Ayaka Saito from Japan, has not had a great showing this year. She's claimed one medal in the events, and she's been beaten by some pretty low-ranked fighters this year. So this division is going to come down to the world number one, Sofia Borislava from Kazakhstan, and Japan's Ayumi Yukusa. So the interesting thing about this match is Ayumi has already beaten Sofia twice this year. She's beat her in Cairo and she's beat her in Rabat. Sofia has had a pretty good showing after that, but I still think Ayumi is a much better fighter. She's a much more established fighter, a veteran fighter. She's been doing this a long time. My pick for Dublin and the grand winner is Yukusa. Starting with the men's in the under 60 kilogram division, this year we will crown a new grand winner. Last year's grand winner, Aminaga Guliev from Azerbaijan. Sorry about that pronunciation, guys. He's mathematically out of it, and he's not attending the event, so he's got no shot of reclaiming his status, and it's going to go to someone in the top five. Right now, all the top five are within 200 points of each other. No one seems to have an advantage, and no one is running away with this division. My pick this year is going to be Angelo Crescenzo from Italy. Now, before you guys give me any crap for picking the number one fighter in the world, let's not forget, he has not had the best showings this year. Even though he's the current number one ranked, in Cairo, he lost the first round in the Premier League event there. He lost to the number 40 and the number 45 ranked guy. I think since then he has gotten back on track, and he will win this division. If he wins this division, he wins it. But as I said, there's no clear-cut person who's going to win this division. The top five fighters all got a shot. So in the men's under 67 kilogram division, I'm going to do something different here. I'm not going to tell you who's going to be the grand winner, because I don't know. Last year's grand winner, Diagnosis Xenos, is third in the standings. He's within shot of making it. I know the WKF thinks they're talking about him repeating, but honestly, the world number two, Stephen DaCosta, is registered. And if anyone has ever watched this guy fight, he's from France. If he's in the building, he's got a shot of winning the whole thing. So my prediction to win Dublin is, again, Stephen DaCosta from France. Now, he has no shot of being the grand winner. He's only attended one Premier League event this year. He won that. However, he hasn't attended anything else. So points-wise, it's mathematically impossible for him to be the grand winner. But again, I'm sorry. Regardless of anything else, if Stephen DaCosta is in the building fighting, he's the one to watch. He's going to win the division, in my opinion. And regardless of where the grand winners end up in this division, you're gonna want to watch Stephen DaCosta fight. In the men's minus 75 Kumite division, this division will also get a new grand winner this year. Last year's winner is mathematically out of it, and this division is going to come down to the top four in the standings. You have Quentin Mulhausen from Belgium. You have Abdallah Hashim Al-Delgawad from Egypt. Sorry about that. Daniel DeVivo from Italy, and Lorenzo Pichimarchi from Italy. My prediction for this is going to be Quentin Mulhausen from Belgium. What he showed me in Fukuoka makes all the difference as far as what I saw in a fighter in that event. So he loses the semifinal round by 1 point and gets knocked down to the bronze medal match. How does he answer that? He answers it by beating that guy by 10 points. And I'm sorry, if you're in a medal round and you're beating anyone at this level by 10 points, you're making a statement. I don't know for certain what that statement is, but what I believe that statement is Dublin, here I come. And after Dublin, I'm going on to the World Championships. I'm the one to watch in this division. As we look at the under 84 kilogram division for the men, listen, I'm going to go against the grain here. The WKF is if you read their website and you read what they're putting out on there, they're going to tell you there's 3 or 4 people that can win this division. And I'm going to tell you that's an absolute not going to happen. This will be a coronation for the new grand winner. His name is Mohammed Al Jafara, and that is my prediction, not only for this tournament, but for the grand winner. Listen to this what happened this year, right? So he goes into Cairo, and he took third. The only fight he lost on a tied fight. Now, I don't know the inner workings of that tied fight. I don't know if it was a judge's decision or he didn't have the Senshu, one of the 2 ways. However, he lost. The only loss he had in the Premier League this year was Cairo on a tied fight. He comes back, he wins Fukuoka, he wins Rabat, then he goes to his Continental Championship, and he takes gold there. He's got 3 golds in his last 3 tournaments. His only loss this year was on a tied fight. I'm sorry. He wins this division hands down. He wins Dublin. He wins the grand winner. I don't know if I want to say right yet that he's going to win the World Championships in this division, but he's in the top 3. In the last division, men's fighting, the 84 plus kilogram division. This is an interesting one. So, coming in the world number 2 and the number 1 in the Premier League standings, Babacar Sexcajo from Spain really hasn't done that great this year. He has not won an event all year. He has taken silver at Fukuoka and Cairo, and which is the best that anyone's placed this year collectively and through the points and his participation points at Rabat. However, the silver he lost to last year's grand winner, which was Taha Tariq Muhammad. The reason why he is not dominating this year again is he only went to 1 event, but he went to 1 event, 1 gold, and he's still in the running. So that's a very that tells you how unstacked this division is. I think it's going to come down to those 2 fighters where they fight in the brackets. Taha Tariq is my pick to win the event. But it all depends on where and when Sexcajo goes out of the bracket. So if they fight down to 1st and 2nd, Taha wins Dublin, I think Sexcajo has enough points to be the grand winner. I don't think there's anybody else in the division that might surprise anyone, but it wouldn't shock me with how undominating this division has been this year. Looking at the female Kata division, this is going to be intriguing how this turns out this year. Most notably is not who's going to be there to compete, but who isn't. Kiyu Shimizu, she's the number 1 in the Premier League standings this year. She has won 2 golds this year. She's lost in Fukuoka to Hikata Ono. But she's the only one who has beat Hikata Ono this year in the Premier League, and she's beat her twice. And where they're at in the rankings, it means she's beat her in the semifinal rounds, where Hikata Ono takes 3rd and she moves in and takes the gold. But for some reason, she's not there this year. She's not going to be in Dublin at all. That has been not only just through the registrations that she's not going to be there, it's been announced through channels of the WKF that she's not attending. So it leaves the door open. I'm sure there's a lot of people speculating on why she isn't going to be there. I wish I had those answers. I don't think anyone's going to have those answers. I'm hoping it's not an injury, but nothing has been pretty, as usual with the Japanese competitors, it's been pretty tight-lipped about why they are there or aren't there. So, but with her not being there, it opens the door. 2 ladies it's going to come down to are Grace Lau out of Hong Kong and Hikata Ono out of Japan. Hikata Ono is last year's grand winner. I think she is hands down the favorite to win this division. I don't think anyone's... other than people in the Grace Lau camp, I don't think anyone's really rooting against her. I think she wins Dublin. Personally, I would like to see Grace Lau win. I think she is the world number 2. She's number 2 in the Premier League standings, and she is quite literally number 2. She's taken silver at every Premier League event this year. I would like to see her break through and win a gold. However, I just don't think Dublin's going to be that time. It'll be Kata for the Dublin win and second year in a row as being the grand winner. And lastly, we're going to talk about Male Kata. Now, this one is a juggernaut for me. I'll be honest with you. This is going to come down to two Japanese players. It's going to be Kazumasa Moto and Kakeru Nishiyama. They're right now tied in the Premier League stands at number 1. They both have the 2,070 points. So how Dublin plans out is who will be crowned the grand winner this year. But it's interesting on some other fronts, right? So Nishiyama is the previous grand winner. He has performed well. Him and Moto have kind of went back and forth this year, obviously both being tied. But it's interesting to me in Moto, and here's why. Kaz Moto is bringing back. He's making Shotokan fashionable again. And what I mean by that, it's no secret that what happens on the WKF trickles down to all other circuits when it comes to traditional, right? Open circuits, other traditional circuits. What happens on the WKF, primarily what happens on the Premier League, because that is where the top competitors are competing consistently. Whatever's winning there trickles down to what's going to be done by competitors throughout the world. They're going to emulate and mimic these top players, right? So in the past you could even go back, say, 10 years, Shotokan has not been winning. Shida-Ryu has been the dominant style on, especially in the women. I mean, if you look back who the big names you have Sandra, you have Rika, even with Kiyu and Hikaru, they're all doing Shida-Ryu. If you look at Ryu in the men and Damien Quintero when he was had his little run there, both of them, are doing Shida-Ryu. You don't have anyone doing Shotokan, and I like to see that Kaz Moto is not only doing Shotokan, he's bringing back that JKS and JKA style Shotokan, but he's winning. So if he's winning, that means people will emulate it, and I would really like to see how that trickles down to the rest of the circuits and the rest of the people that are doing Japanese Okinawan forms at either the open circuit or in other traditional events, and say, you know what, I'm gonna come out and do Shotokan again. I really hope that is what happens. So in that regards, I'm pulling for Kazimoto. I really am. I like Kaz. I like how he compete. I like his forms. He's super clean. I really like to see him win. Nishiyama, on the other hand, is very technically strong. And when they have matched up together, it's been Nishiyama's technical side that I believe has pulled that out for him. So I'm not going to make a prediction on this. I'm going to tell you that this is the matchup to watch. And the way that they're ranked coming in, because Kaz is only number 4 in the world, they're going to meet in the bracket. They're not going to meet for first and second. They're not going to be a gold medal match. They're going to go in the semifinals somewhere, how they come out of their brackets and they mark down. They're going to be in the semifinals, maybe the quarterfinals match. But wherever this match happens, and it will happen, it is hands down going to be the match of the tournament. And whoever wins that match will win the whole thing and be the grand winner this year. Let's take a look at the American presence that's going to be there in Dublin this year. They've got 7 competitors coming, which might be one of the better showings in the Premier League events that the Americans have brought in. We're going to start men's fighting. Let's start at the under 75 kilogram division. You got Thomas Scott. Now, Thomas Scott's ranked 14th in the world in fighting. He hasn't had a great showing as far as a medal showing in the Premier League for this year yet. But he has been there at least 2 events this year. And I think for him, where he's at right now, I think a top 8 would be good. He hasn't medaled in a while. I mean, obviously getting a medal would be great, but I think if he makes it out of the round robin round and into the actual top 8 bracket, that'd be a big win for him. Moving on to the 84 plus division. If you remember when I break down in the earlier this is open. No one's dominating this division. So Emery Kivyank, he's coming in. He's 89th in the world. Now, I know that seems like a high rank for the Premier League. And basically how this happens is this is the last Premier League event of the season. So there's going to be some people that are mathematically out of it and don't want to go. So, but what that does is that opens up the door for a guy like Emery. He's 89th in the world. This is his first Premier League event. It'll be great for him. He's going to fight in the round robin. He's going to have to fight at least 3 fights, the way the round robin rounds work, for him to get out of there. He wins 1 or 2 of them. That's a good showing for him. It'd be great if he could get out of that and obviously into the top, the top 8. But I think that's a pipe dream right now, unfortunately, for where he's at. I think he wins 1 or 2 matches. It's great. It's going to move him out of that 89th position and move him up. Now, the next fighter in the women's division is the under 55 kilogram division, and I'm super excited about talking about this young lady. Trinity Allen. She has made the biggest moves this year. So she starts off the year, I believe, 19th. She goes takes a silver in Rabat, bumps her up a little bit, and then she takes 7th in Fukuoka, which means a top 8 finish. And at these events, top 8 finish is not a bad showing. So that bumped her up to 10th. She's currently number 10th. I think she gets, I would say getting in the top 8 would be good again for her. However, what I would like to see, I would like to see her get into those medal rounds. Again, she did get to fight the world number 1 in Rabat, and she lost to her by 2. So she was in the fight. So I think if she gets in those medal rounds, she might have a shot. I don't think she has a shot to win this. It's already covered in the under 55 division. I think everyone knows how I feel about that after listening to that video earlier. But she's got a shot. I think she makes the medal rounds. She'll be okay. Now we're going to move into Kata. Now start with the female Kata first. You have Sakura Kokomai. She's actually number 4th in the world. The Premier League, just consistently she's there. She's just not where she needs to be. So, and I'm not saying that's a fault on her own. I think she's doing a good job. She's taken 7th in all of the Premier League events. And the way that those brackets work, depends on who she lost to, right? So she took 7th, which means the person who beat her lost in the next round. So she did not get to go on to the medal rounds. So that is just how it's played out. She's made the top 8 consistently, all 3 events this year. She just needs to break into the medal rounds. And that'll be the next big push for her, is to be consistently in the medal rounds. Moving on to the men's. We got 3 men in the men's division, which I think this is I don't know when the last time we've done this. This might be the first time we've had 3 men, American men, in the Premier League Championship. I might be wrong on that, but let's just let's go with it. It's 3 guys from America. It's the first time in a long time. So first off, you have Taishi Tozaka. Now, Taishi comes in ranked number 29. I'll be honest with you, top 8 finish would be great for him. If I was him, top 8 finish, I'd be ecstatic about that. I think he's young. I think he's only 23. So him getting that experience right now is good. I think the best thing about this is all of his forms, because he's going to do 3. He's got in the round robin round. He's going to do 3 forms. They'll all be live streamed on YouTube. So it'll get him out there. There'll be people seeing him. It's a great move for him to be there. I would like to see him make the top 8, but again, I don't know if that's obtainable at this time. Next is Gakuji Tozaki. Now, he's actually our highest ranked player in the Premier League due to his silver medal he took in Cairo this year. Again, consistently in the top 8, just needs to break into those medal rounds, and I think he's close. I think he's there. Like I said, he won a silver in Cairo, so he can break into those medal rounds. We just need to do that on a consistent basis. Last but not least, and this one I believe everyone knows who this man is if you follow traditional karate on either the traditional circuit or if you follow it on the open circuit. And that's our Olympian, Ariel Torres. Now, this one's a tough one. So Ariel is the world number 2. And we all follow Ariel, and we all know what Ariel's doing. And he's great. And I think he's worked hard, and he's gotten to where he's at. And I'm not sure why. The next comment I'm going to say, it pains me to say, the Premier League has not been good to Ariel in some ways. And I'm not sure why that is. So he's consistently in the top 8, obviously. He wins his round robin, and he comes out of that into the top 8. He's not making the medal rounds in the Premier League, and I don't have an answer to why that is. Technically, he's good. His performances are good. We've seen him have success in other formats. I don't know if the round robin format fits him, and I don't know if that's what it is. I honestly don't know. It's a lot of us who watch this and who follow this scratch our heads to wonder why Ariel has not consistently broken into the medal rounds. And I think it's no secret. I think I don't want to speak for him, but I think if you asked him, he would tell you that he should be there, and that's where he needs to get to. Where every Premier League he's coming home with a medal one way or the other, and that's only going to push him forward. And I think he's right on the verge of doing that, and I hope that's the case. Because I think we have a whole, I wouldn't say country, I think we have a whole continent that's cheering for him and wants to see him do very well in the Premier League. But honestly, the biggest thing for me is how this plays out. I believe personally, Team USA and what they have is poised to make a big splash. I think not only with Ariel and Gakuji, but we have Sakura. She's doing very well. Trinity Allen is making a good move. She's young. She's making moves early in her career, and it's going to be really good. I think we're on the verge of not this year, but 2024, the American presence being huge on the Premier League for the first time in, I want to say, ever. And I think that's where we're going. I wish all these guys luck, and for the guys and gals who didn't make it to Dublin, but will be going on to the World Championships, I wish them all the luck, and we'll be here to cover them. Hey guys, I want to thank you for watching my first episode. Please take the time to share, like, comment, do all that social media stuff that you all do so very well. I hope you guys join me for my next episode where we'll be recapping what happened in Dublin, who the grand winners are, what happened at that event, and we'll give you all the results and what's going on. Until next time, guys, keep training, keep working, keep trying to make yourself a little bit better. Have a good day.